How's it going, guys? Phil here, and this is a review for the ASUS ROG Zephyrus G16 gaming laptop. Thank you to Best Buy for sending me this laptop for free to try. You'll receive the laptop, 6-foot power cable, 240-watt power brick with 4-foot cable, and quick start guides showing how to charge and power on the laptop. Unlike other models of the Zephyrus, the lid on the G16 does not have LED lighting embedded in it. Instead, it features a prismatic dot matrix design diagonally across 60% of the shell, which gives it a unique moving rainbow effect as the light hits it from different viewing angles. There's also a small holographic logo plate at the back corner. The exterior of the unit has a metallic appearance, but is a lightweight sturdy plastic. It measures 14 inches wide, 9.5 inches long, and just under 1.25 inch at the thickest point, weighing in under 5 pounds. The power brick and cable will add another 1.5 pounds while traveling. For I/O, along the left-hand side, there's the power port, HDMI 2.1 out, Gigabit Ethernet, USB-A 3.2 Gen 2, and 2 USB-C 3.2 Gen 2 ports, the left one of which supports Thunderbolt 4 and a combo mic headphone jack. Both USB-C ports also support DisplayPort 1.4 out and power delivery charging. On the right is another USB-A 3.2 Gen 2 port, microSD card slot, and Kensington lock slot towards the back. The status LEDs for power, battery charging, and drive activity are located along the back edge of the laptop. One thing I don't like about this layout is that the power plug can block adjacent ports if you run the wire towards the front of the laptop. So if you need to use the HDMI or Ethernet ports, it's best to plug the cable in from behind the laptop. When the laptop is charging, the LED will be red when completely drained, but turns orange, then white when fully charged. And on the bottom is plenty of ventilation for airflow, and 2 long rubber feet span the back and front of the base. The 2 grills at the front corners are bass reflex speaker ports. Spec-wise, my build has a 13th generation 10-core Intel i7-13620H CPU with 2.4 GHz base clock, 16 GB of 3200 MHz soldered DDR4 RAM, a 512 GB PCIe Gen 4 M.2 SSD, and dedicated NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070 GPU in addition to CPU integrated graphics. Inside, there's one additional RAM slot that can accept a 32 GB chip for a total of 48 GB of max RAM capacity. There's also a second empty M.2 NVMe slot for secondary storage up to 2 GB. If you don't want to open the laptop up, you can utilize the microSD slot for additional removable storage. The front lip of the lid is beveled slightly inward, so you can grab it anywhere along the front edge to open the screen. The lid opens a full 180 degrees to a lay-flat orientation, making it easy for you to find the viewing angle that's right for you. The diagonal of the display is 16 inches, and it has ultra-thin bezels along the top and sides. In the middle, along the top, is the built-in 720p webcam with noise-canceling 3D mic array, and while this can be used for video calls and live streaming, its primary purpose is for logging in with facial recognition via Windows Hello. I will say that face login is pretty convenient and quick. It even recognizes me with or without glasses on. Because the screen's hinge rotates out behind the laptop at angles wider than 90 degrees, the back of the laptop will lift slightly, and the chin of the screen drops behind the main deck, making it less visible. The max refresh rate of this IPS screen is 165 Hz, with a max resolution of 1920 by 1200 and 3 millisecond response time. The screen is decently bright, though reportedly only around 270 nits. However, it has 8-bit RGB color depth, covering 100% of the DCI-P3 color space, calibrated with Pantone validation and Dolby Vision HDR support that delivers vibrant, well-saturated colors, accurate enough for digital artists and content creators. The 10-keyless backlit keyboard has the top-facing speaker grills on either side, a large 5-inch by 3.25-inch trackpad mouse below, and 4 customizable function keys above, whose default settings are volume control, mic mute, and Armoury Crate Quick Launch. Next to that, you can view the 3 status lights, but only if you look down from above, as you can't really see them when looking at the screen. You can change the brightness of the RGB lighting or turn it off using the function keys, and set your preferred lighting pattern in Armoury Crate to a few different animations or a solid color. But note that the keys themselves are not individually addressable, and the lighting effect will always be a single block. Connectivity-wise, it's got Wi-Fi 6E, utilizing the 160 MHz bandwidth to boost speeds and decrease congestion and latency, as well as Bluetooth 5.3 for lag-free video and audio sync when using wireless Bluetooth audio devices. Internet and network connectivity remained strong and stable during use, and I didn't experience very long load times when playing cloud-connected games. You can also use the mux switch in Armoury Crate to set the GPU mode to Ultimate, which only uses the discrete GPU, but this consumes more battery, so it's recommended to only use this mode while plugged in. All other modes utilize integrated graphics or a combination of the two by switching based on the tasks and applications that are running. Note that the laptop will need to be restarted if you change mux modes. While gaming, this laptop does a fine job with most games on medium to high settings. In games like Counter-Strike and Warframe, I was able to consistently get 165 frames per second with little to no tearing thanks to G-Sync. The fans can get super loud though, which can drown out the sounds from the stereo speakers on top.
It should go away or amp up the sight to draw it out. I'm still detecting a lot of infestation activity. Let's clean it up.
Which actually sound pretty good when you can hear them. The other thing is that the laptop can put out a lot of heat in order to keep the temperature of its components under control, so you definitely want to make sure it's got plenty of ventilation. I've also used this laptop for 4K video content creation, and the unit does a decent job with processing times when exporting large files, though on battery power it can be a bit sluggish. Speaking of, the 90-watt battery provides about 4 hours of casual use at full brightness, though when gaming that drops to about 2 hours. Keep in mind that's including the reduced graphics performance set to 60 frames per second and medium graphics. Overall, this Zephyrus G16 is a decent mid-range gaming laptop with a sleek design in a compact unit. The display isn't top of the line, but I appreciate the amount of screen real estate, which makes it easy to edit video and multitask for non-gaming purposes. The battery life is average for a gaming laptop in this form factor, but can stretch a bit farther when used casually for streaming video and browsing the web. I hope you enjoyed this review. You can ask me any questions in the comments. I'll put a link to the product in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and join me next time.